Hi, Juan here. Today I'm interviewing Eduardo Cabrales with the law offices of Garcia and Bodan. Eduardo, thanks for being here.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
So Eduardo, tell us a little bit about the process of a real estate transaction here in San Juan del Sur and Tola.
Well, usually the way we do it, it all starts with you, our friends, the real estate agents. You are the ones that initially start negotiating the terms and conditions of a transaction. Once it comes to our office, usually it's either because the buyers have an intention to purchase, so they would do a power of attorney, which is needed if they're not going to be present in the closing process. And secondly, this is the first step in order for us to have a transaction in place. Once we review the closing document, which is the private sales agreement, this lays out all the terms and conditions that we will need to oversee to make sure that we will come to a closing date with all the obligations completed.
Okay.
Once you have this contract, the first thing we need to do is open an escrow. Usually we have a third-party entity that holds a deposit, a good faith deposit, to understand and make sure that the transaction is actually one that has met both obligations. From that point forward, we begin with the due diligence process. This has to do with the review of the title, confirming property taxes are up to date, that there are no liens or pending annotations on the property, confirming the survey office that there's no boundary issues either. Once that's done, we complete a report and we send it to the client so they have an informed decision of everything that there is to know about the property.
Okay, and usually how long does this process take, the due diligence and all the whole transaction?
I would say that the due diligence process may take around 15 to 21 days. One key element that has changed over time now is that in order for us to review the public records, now we do need a power of attorney from the seller. So powers of attorney being present is very important for a real estate transaction nowadays.
Perfect. And last question. So power of attorney, can you do it here, or if you're somewhere else in the world, can we establish a power of attorney wherever they are?
You can do it here. If you do it here, it takes about 20 minutes. But however, if you're everywhere else in outside of Nicaragua, we can certainly create the documents. It may take more time, 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the location, but you can certainly do it abroad. Absolutely.
But it's doable. Perfect. Okay, Eduardo, so now we're done with the due diligence report. What comes next?
Well, after that, what we do is we update the closing statement so that the buyer can send the rest of the funds to escrow. We as attorneys create the closing documents and see the closing table, sign the documents. Escrow company releases funds to the sellers, to the agents, to everybody involved. Once that's closed, the transaction is completed and we begin the process of registration in the public record. So that's a simple 3-step process. We go back to the survey office, that's number 1, get a cadastral certificate. The second part is going to the tax office to get a tax valuation and pay the transfer tax. And the last one is we go to the public records and we submit the document for filing, and then comes out of the records. And that's the completion of the registration process.
Well, this has been session 1 of talking with Eduardo Cabrales from Garcia and Bodan. Stay tuned for another episode. Thank you so much, Eduardo.
Thank you.